Next is inverse variation. And remember that we learned with inverse functions, it's like flipping your x and your y. So in this case, if you recall, direct variation meant you wrote it times the constant k. For inverse, so if it says y varies inversely as x, then you're going to write it being divided by that constant divided by the variable that comes after those words varies inversely. Okay, so let's look at an example of this. So this first example here says if A varies inversely as B, so I'm going to automatically write A equals, and then it's K divided by B for varies inversely. So here's what I know. A equals 28 when B equals -2. So A equals 28 when B equals -2. And which in this case, we can solve that. This is a proportion. So I'm just going to multiply across. This is like 28 over 1, multiply across. So K would equal -56. Okay, K equals -56. So I know that constant of variation. Now we want to find A when, so remember it looks like this, when B equals -10. So I'm going to take that -10 and I'm going to plug it in for my B. I'm going to take my constant K and I'm going to plug it in over here for K. And then I am finding A. And so I'm going to just simplify that. So -56 divided by -10, you could say is either 5.6, or you could write it as a mixed number, or you could write it as an improper fraction, either way. And that would be my answer. Okay, last example like this. So again, this says if x varies inversely as y. So I'm writing x is equal to, it varies inversely as y, it's k divided by y. And then here's what I know. X is 24 when y is 4. So I'm going to plug that in. X is 24 when y is 4. I want to find that k. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. So this would be 96 is equal to k. So I know that constant of variation there. We want to find x when y equals 12. So I'm going to put my 12 for my y. I'm going to take my k of 96 and I'm going to plug it in. And then I'm just going to simplify that. And when I simplify 96 divided by 12, I get 8. Okay? Last one with inverse variation. Now we're going to look at a word problem. Okay, so here's what it says. The length of a violin string varies inversely as the frequency of its vibration. So I'm going to let the length of the violin string be L, and I'm going to let the frequency of it be F. Ooh, that's a terrible F. Let's try that again. We'll just do a normal F. Be F. Okay? So to write that equation, I would say the length of the violin string is equal to, if it varies inversely with the frequency, it's K divided by F. And then I'm going to plug in what I know. So a violin string 10 inches long, so there's my L, vibrates at a frequency of 512. So I know my frequency is 512. And we need to find that K. So again, if I cross multiplied, my K would be equal to 5,120. Now this says find the frequency. So this time I'm trying to figure out what my F is. So I'm going to keep my F there. Find the frequency of an 8-inch violin string. So there's my length and I know my K is 5,120. And now I'm going to solve. So when I solve this, I would cross multiply. So 8F is equal to 5,120. And when I divide both sides by 8, the frequency would be 640 cycles. And there is my frequency.